Right. Open. And we want Lucien's Saints and Seducers patch, because that's what I'm planning on working on today. Now, as I say, this is a modding workshop, so I'm very happy to kind of answer questions as you guys have them. You know, if you want to learn about a particular aspect of modding, if you want to know how something is done, you know, anything like that, do ask, and I'll go ahead and we can talk about that instead. You know, I'm happy to go where you guys want to discuss. But in the meantime, while there aren't any questions we're talking about, I'll be focusing on working on this patch. So, yes, I do have a Minecraft server. It's only online when we're streaming, because it's, you know, it's not, I don't want to be moderating it. It's not, I'm not running a community kind of thing. It's just something that I want to, which we have purely so I can play along with you guys. Cinematic scenes. What's a cinematic scene, Mr. Video Freak? DC or Marvel? Both, for different reasons. I'm a huge fan of the Arrowverse, the CW TV shows for DC. I think they're fantastic. I love those. And also the MCU, big fan of. And I like the new Avengers game. I really enjoyed that. We've been playing that on Saturdays for a while. Not anymore. We're now doing Skyrim Saturdays, but you know, we did spend a while doing that. And I do want to play the new update on that with Kate Bishop at some point soon as well. And I'm a big fan of the Batman Arkham games, which are DC. I think they're amazing. So I don't know. You know, both. Both. Congratulations, Mazakan. Well done, you. Oh, I see. Just for trailers. That makes sense. Oh, and I loved, I never did the original DCAU, I never got into that, but I did love the DC animated movie universe. You know, they did this series of like a dozen interconnected movies, all animated, straight direct to video, and they were great. I loved those. It's a shame it's over now. So here we are, JR Lucien, CC, Saints and Seducers, which is where we left off last time. And we covered the Saints Bandits side of things. So now we need to do the Seducer Bandit side of things. And what was particularly difficult for us when we were doing this was that these two quest branches run parallel to one another. You can do them in any order, which is a massive pain to keep track of the stages and everything. But we're doing it anyway. We're going to persevere, march boldly onwards and get it done. And it's probably going to be very broken when it's done, so I'll have to test it a lot and fiddle with it. Can I port the Lucien Flavius character preset to Xbox One? I guess I can. Sure, I mean, there's such little demand for it on PC. I didn't really think people even wanted it on Xbox, but if you guys want it, then I guess I can port it. Well, if you're interested in making follower mods, oh dear a rat, I have a little YouTube series that is currently on pause, but we did 4 episodes, which takes you through the very basics of how to make a follower mod, just like Lucien. It talks you through making a custom framework and setting up the basic dialogue, and introduction to voice acting. It's all there on my YouTube channel if you want. It's designed for beginners, well, for anywhere from beginners to expert, but it should still make sense to beginners. It should still be good if it's the first time you're loading up the creation kit ever. So if you haven't checked that out, do check it out. Might be stuff there for you. It is a lot easier making follower mods than people think it's going to be. You know, once you actually have a go at it, I think it's surprising how straightforward some of it is. I'm just going to switch back to camera while I get the internet open so that we can be looking at UESP, because we're going to need that. Do. Very exciting, Batty. Oh, Mazakan's got a cat asleep on them. That's very cute. I'm so pleased for you. Grey is just there, out of shot. She's asleep on my bed. When she wakes up, I'll bring her over to say hi and give her her treats that you guys have requested. Right, so we're going to want UESP here. The cactus is a present from my brother. He bought it on a whim for me, and I think it's rather whimsical. I like it. That's all it is. But yes, it can be a friend for plant friend. Oh, bad luck, Blowfly Bay. Blowfly. I can never say your name. I can never do it. Blowfly Bay. There we go. Oh, crikey, Batty. That sounds like a large undertaking. Good luck. Oh, look at this. Dragon Scale Armor is free on the Creation Club. Do pick that up if you haven't got it. Right, let's go across the screen with camera again. See? Dragon Scale Creation temporarily free. So yeah, do grab it. Right. So now what I need is the Saints and Seducers questline. Which is here. And we want Balance of Power. That's where we're at to start with. Which is these 2 bandit sites. Now we've sorted this lot. But what we haven't done is had a comment on the little buggy thing. You know, the little, whatchamacallit? Elytra in the cage. So, this is going to be another really difficult, complicated thing to set up comments on. It's going to be such a pain. Now, which is it? The Manic Elytra Nymph is in the Saints Bandit camp. So, hi back, I'm Joe. Hey Lolco, welcome to the stream. Great to see you. There's a new name. Always fun seeing new names. Anybody else just tuning into the stream for the first time? Do say hello, I don't bite. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right, I'm going to copy this one and we're going to fiddle with the conditions for it. Is it pronounced Elytra or Elytra? That's a good question. What do you think? Let's do a poll. See what you guys think. How is Elytra pronounced? And how do we spell Elytra, of course? Elytra like that. Pronounced. Elytra or Elytra? Please vote and tell me what you think. The poll is running now. Well, I'm really glad you decided to tune in, Meme Master. Lots of people going for Elytra. Strong preference for Elytra. Ah! Does Google have a pronunciation for it? Let's check then. Is Elytra a real word? Yeah, yes, it is. Where did you find that? Bard? Thanks for tuning in, AWSME Dude 1. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How should I pronounce that? Should I just call you Awesome Dude? Very exciting to have you here. The first video result, we can play it. I guess it's a thing in Minecraft.
Elytra. Elytra.
But is that even correct? Oh, this person says that's totally wrong. These people say it's supposed to be pronounced Elytra. And this is just an AI trying to pronounce it. I don't trust this. Hey, Kat, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good evening. Kat, you can answer this. You're actually qualified to know this. How do I pronounce this? The word elytra. Or is it elytra? How am I supposed to be saying this? Please help. No, this is part of the modding. The second one. Which was the second one? Elytra. Is that what we're going with? Qualified biologist opinion. Right, good. Sorted. Elytra it is. Which is what the vote said, so... Right. Elytra. The reason we're looking is because we're trying to make a comment about this little creature, which is apparently called one of these things, and I'm assuming it's pronounced in the same way. So, there we go. Right, let's do that. Did I actually make a new dialogue thing? Yes. See, you've saved the day. Much appreciated. My word. What? No, can't have what on earth, because what on earth is not law friendly. What in the world? I mean, I could have that, Ayasana, yeah, but I think Lucien would know. You know, I think he would be qualified to know how to do it. Yeah, I'm never a fan of the Skyrimified versions of phrases. You know, when they say, I mean, what in Oblivion you can get away with. But the phrases like Oblivion Bent, what on Nern, I kind of find them a bit on the nose somehow. So I try to avoid them if I can. What in the world is fine, isn't it? And yes, we did do that bit with Chorus already. That is true. Surely not an elytra. How did you get here? How did you get here? And locked up in a cage like that? Poor thing. There we go, that'll do. And I'll give him a touch of sadness. There. Just a little bit. We'll just go 10. Okay, now I've got to figure out how on earth we're going to do this condition check, because it's going to be a nightmare. Right. Let's delete all that. So this doesn't need you to have reached any particular stage. But what it does need is it needs a get distance check. And again, we'll fill in the reference later, because that's always easier to do it in SSE Edit, if I remember. Someone remind me to do that before we release the mod, please. And we'll say that's got to be less than 1,000, so you're vaguely near it. And now I've got to figure out how in the world I can check whether it's there. Let me bring up the what did we say it was called? Was it advobgobs? Oh no, that looks like it could be goblins. Here we are. Advogds. Well, yes, it could be Bard, but I prefer to avoid it. Thanks, Meme Master. I try. Doesn't matter, Nix. Doesn't matter whether you're launching it through SK, SE or not. Right. I don't even know what I'm looking for here. This is going to be a bit of me sort of trying to figure things out on the fly. So you'll have to bear with me, friends. Right. Elytra Nymph. This is the one, isn't it? No, it's not. It's Manic Elytra Nymph. Okay. Nope. Out of the way, Tiny Lucien. So it's going to be handled by... by a quest, presumably? I'm trying to remember how I did it for the other ones. Ooh, here we are, My Pet Elytra, Mania. Does this have... Yeah. Good. Thank goodness they did this. Right, so there is a quest that controls... Oh, hydrate, certainly will. Posture check, thank you. So there's a quest that controls the... Oh, there is an objective. Good. That controls the recruitment of the Elytra. Which means I can do a get stage check on that to see whether it's been completed or not, to identify whether or not you've yet recruited the Elytra, and therefore determine whether it's still standing in its cage or not. So for that, it's not easy because I don't know which stage we're talking about. I wonder, is it referenced here? No. No, it's... Oh, yeah, it is. It is. My Pet Elytra Mania. But we don't have stage details. Ha! Nice rhyme, Petra. Right. So it completes at 200. I'm actually a biomedical engineer, not a biological engineer. There is a subtle difference. But yes, I am a biomedical engineer. That is my PhD. Do you think we should be capitalizing Elytra? What do you think? Capitalize it? Big capital E at the front. Yeah. 2 votes for yes. Go on then. I don't suppose that anyone pronounces it in Oblivion, do they? Does anyone ever say the word to confirm that Elytra is what we're going with? I think it looks better capitalized. Now, what was I just doing? I was checking, right, so the recruit quest is less than 200, and it's called CCBG SSSE 025. Thanks for the follow, Crusted Lemon. I don't suppose any of you, if you're feeling particularly helpful, if you can find a video of one of them saying it at some point. And check whether it is in fact Elytra. Okay, pet acquisition. Oh, is it acquisition or adoption? Acquisition. What's the difference between acquisition and adoption? Oh, I think this is just a quest, an AI sort of control quest for when you've actually got the pet. Right, okay. Lazy Voice Finder would search for it through Skyrim, but I don't have Oblivion installed, so it's not gonna search through that for me. Thanks for the follow, the Gonks! Welcome to the stream. Hope I can provide some mild entertainment for a period of time. Yeah, they definitely don't say it in Skyrim. Right, so I want to do get stage. Elytra Pet Acquisition Mania is less than 200 if 200 is the completion stage. And if we do that, then that should tell us that it hasn't yet been recruited. So the only thing I need now is a stage check, which I'm going to call 100. Get stage done. And we're going to go for this quest here, which is JR Lucien. CC, Saints and Seducers. Hello, the Seducers and the Saints. Welcome back, Butane. Didn't realise you'd gone. And the stage is 90. No, it's not. It's 100. C'est ça. And that equals 0. So now with those conditions all in place, we are laughing. I think we're good to go there. Awesome. Awesome. Right, now we need to do this alternative here. Oh, I hate this. It's so complicated. Someone called Wide Eye apparently says something about them. Good. Good find. To be honest, this line also applies if we're doing the other one. So I might just copy this line, and then we can maybe tweak it slightly. C'est très difficile. That armor these bandits was wearing was quite remarkable. Let's have a look around. I'd love to find out more about it. And that's still true. But this is the alternate version that we're now going to do for... Let's have a look. Balance of power. $520 and less than 525. There we go. All good. Right, get distance is less than 2,000. Fine. And we're going to do that check now on the dead bandit leader. For that one, and we'll populate that one later as well. And what was the pronunciation, meme master? Was it Elytra, Elytra, or Elytra? Elytra it is. Fabulous. Good. I'm really pleased with that. That tallies then. Very reassuring. Thanks for checking. Most appreciated. Okay, we can keep the same get stage check here. Yeah, the consistency with Bethesda takes priority over the real world pronunciation. But if we're doing, you know, the fact that it satisfies both, then we win. In our universe, it's Elytra. In Bethesda, in the Elder Scrolls, it's Elytra. We're all good. Right. And then what I'm going to do is condition these copied lines to not play. In fact, they won't play. Ah, yep, because they'll... Yes, it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Because we'll either get one or the other, but not both. So put that up to 5:30. Ta-da! C'est très bon. Okay, now this one is different. So this can be its own separate stage, which can be 110. Equals 0. And we're going with 5:30 and 5:40. Set stage 110, all sorted. Now, what's this chap called? It's not Kinthal for this one. Who are you? Svarig? Svarig, that's what it's called. Right. Svarig. And we're going to have an entirely different line here. Oh, that's nice for you, Mazikin. How come? Svarig, indeed. Sounds like... someone... we need to chat to. I'm sure they'll be entirely reasonable and non-violent with us. Da 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 da. 5:30, 5:40. Set stage 110. All good. So that's that sorted out now. Then I can copy this one. And this one. And that stage is still 80, so that's all sorted. So that's copied. So basically, we'll only get the unique lines here, and then these lines will play at whichever bandit camp you happen to come across first, and then Lucien just won't say anything the second time round, which I think works fine. And then we can have a couple of variants for this Thoron business, depending on whether you have one or both pieces of information. So what do we find out here? Assisted by a conjurer who seeks strange artifacts. So what does it say? I'm looking for a note on... on what? Svarig's journal? Here we are, Svarig's journal. Right, what does it say? Gosh, you're all in the wars, aren't you? Feel better, one and all. Sending good vibes. See you, check. So this is another thing about Thoron. Doesn't say where he is, but he's in the sewers. A wizard named Thoron living in some sewers somewhere. It's not much to go on, but it's something. Okay, so we have one or the other. And of course, this is now conditioned for get stage done. 560 equals 1 and 460 equals 0. Ha! Yes, Mr. Video Freak, that is a vital part of modding. That is the experience. That's what happens. It doesn't work, you don't know why. You got to figure it out. That's half the fun of it. Good evening, Crab and Cutter. Welcome to the stream. So now I'm going to do a final line here for what if you have both pieces of information. And this is going to be 120. We haven't used that yet, have we? Okay. That works. Good. Now, this sheds a bit more light on the situation. Thoron, the chap behind all this, is hiding in the Solitude sewers. Sounds splendidly smelly. Ta-da! And that'll be us done. So now I just need to sort out I need to save again, and I need to sort out the elytra. I keep wanting to say elytra. Hey, Vickle, welcome! Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Thank you so much for the sub. That's very generous of you. Do appreciate it. Now, what I need to do is condition this first one to check you haven't already encountered the other elytra. So duplicate pet acquisition dementia also has to be less than 200. And again, we're checking for stage 100. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't on earlier, Vickle. I'm here now. The reason why probably wasn't because you didn't tick the random end box, Mr. Video Freak. You don't need to tick that except in very specific situations. But it's about 99% likely that wasn't the reason why it wasn't working, so it must have been something else. So now I want a variant for if you discover the second elytra. For which I need 2 again. So this one's going to be if that one is greater than or equal to 200 and that one is less than 200. And that is 1. And we're now on 130 is 0. Hydrate, certainly must. There we go, there's 0 on there. That sets the stage to 130. Now, gosh, another elytra. But this one's a different colour. Fascinating. That's all it really needs to say, to be honest. And then we'll duplicate that and flip it the other way around. I could have done this with a complicated set of ores instead of this, but this is a lot easier to just do a second instance of the line. Hey, Morgan Knives. Happy belated New Year to you too, Vickle. Have you missed any big news? I don't think so. I mean, I'm still working on Lucien version 1.6.0, which I know I said I'd have done ages ago, and I haven't done. But I'm working on it. You know, I'm doing my best. You might be able to tell I'm not back at university. That's not happened because pandemic, basically. But hopefully I will be going back at some point. In the meantime, I'm at home, but that means more time with Gray. And yes, there's a cactus light. That was a present from my brother. Did the books arrive, by the way? I hope you received them. Right, and that is us now done, I think. Oh, yay, I'm glad. Hey, Stradenko, happy time zone to you too. Good to see you. Thanks for the follow, Stonehearted. Right. Balance of power, then. I think we've now commented on every stage of this quest. Ah, we could have a last one for Rizard. Suggesting we go back to Rizard. So let's do that. Greetings to you too. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Always lovely having new people. Where do you come from? What has brought you to my humble hearth? Does conditioning order matter? Yes, it does. The game works through your condition order from top to bottom. So it evaluates the first condition, then the second condition, then the third condition, and so on and so forth. Thanks for the bits, Vickle! Yay, lockdown indeed. We ought to let Rizard know the bandits have been sorted out. I'm sure he'll be delighted to hear the roads are safe again. Or at least as safe as they ever get. Cool. And I'll keep all those ores there, which I think is good because that tells us that it's you know, making that you've already achieved some earlier stage of the quest. And I'm going to set that now to 130. Equals 0 and 130 down here. And then we are done with balance of power. And we can move on. What are your 2 checks, Mr. Video Freak? Are there any specific basic walkthroughs that I would recommend? Yeah, if you have a look on my YouTube channel, you will find how to make a little series, 4 videos there so far. I will be adding to it in the future, but at the moment I'm focused on Lucien. But you'll find 4 little videos called How to Make a Follower Mod Like Lucien Flavius, and they're intended as entry-level modding tutorials. Equally, they also should be useful if you have experience modding, but you know they're intended to apply for the whole range of ability. And that should give you the basics of how to get started. I mean, it's specifically applied towards follower modding, but it does give you the basics of the creation kit and how to get started and everything, so it should be useful to you. So, we pretty much sorted balance of power with all the various stages, I think. I don't think there's anything more we need to comment on from the actual quest line point of view for this. So, now we've got that far through there. So, what's next? Restoring order. Now this is a bit easier. So this starts when you uncover the location of one of the things, and then it progresses when you've uncovered both things. So really at stage 10, and stage 10 we've already had, this is when it tells us you need to investigate the Solitude sewers, and we've already done that bit. Because we already did that when it linked up with the other first quest. So what we really need now is a comment to happen when you first enter the Solitude sewers. What quest is this? This is the Saints and Seducers Creation Club patch. Bart says, is there any significance to the ring on my finger? It is nice bling. Yeah, it was my it was a birthday present for my 21st. Sort of all the family club together. It's got you won't be able to see it on camera, but it's got an engraving on it, which is sort of lots of things that are related to me. So it's got a book with my initials on it, and a quill crossed behind it with a soldering iron for my engineering, and it's got music notes above and below. So it's kind of sums up all the various aspects of me, my music and my writing and my engineering and everything. So it's quite special to me. Thanks so much for the sub, Coffee with Dragons. Yeah, my brother designed it, which was really nice of him. I think it's really cool. Right. On we go. So, what I need now is a comment that happens when you're in the sewers before you discover the root cave. So I'm going to pop this just down here, really. He's very good at presents. Could that dial... Hello, Slammin' Slug, welcome to the stream. Very exciting having new people. No, I wouldn't be recycling dialogue for new mods. If I'm doing interaction patches for new mods, I'll write new dialogue for them. Because it's just as much work to recycle dialogue as it is to just record a new line. It takes 5 seconds to record a new line, and it takes just as long to copy and paste and reassign and rename the relevant files. Right, so this is going to be... Investigate the Solitude sewers. Well, here we are. These are some sewers, and they are beneath Solitude. And they smell delightful. Let's find this Thoron chap and get out of here Pronto. Ah, no, Pronto is sort of Italian, isn't it? Or Spanish or something. It's sort of Earth rather than Skyrim, so out of here. Post haste? That feels a bit more lore friendly. Hey Jackda, welcome to the stream. Well, again, ASAP doesn't sound very medieval. I don't know whether it is used in Skyrim or not, but I think what we've got is fine. Oh, is post-haste hyphenated, do we reckon? Let me Google it. Post-haste. No. Oh, yes. Hyphenated. Now, for this, we don't need to worry about any of these get stage dones. We don't actually need any of them, except the one to make sure this line doesn't repeat. So I'm going to do 140 now. 140 there. Thinking out loud. People fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. And I'll just keep on making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. Don't know if those are the lyrics, but honey, now. Proto-Cyrodiilic, is that a thing? We found love right where we are. Right, 140, 0, yeah, and that, oh, we want the stages now. So now, thankfully, praise the divines, we can just use get stage. And this is CCBG. Now, what is that actually called? Restoring order, quest B. Quest B. And that stage has to be less than 20. I think, though we'll have to test that in game to make sure this stage doesn't progress just when you enter the sewer. Is there a huge difference between 2nd gen and 3rd gen with the Focusrite Scarlet Studio pack that you recommended in your Part 0 creation kit? I'm sorry, I don't know. I couldn't really tell you what gen I've got. I can try and find out, but I'm afraid I don't know anything about it really beyond this is the one that I've got. But I don't know what they've changed. When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you up off your feet, will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Right, so now we want get in cell. Will your eyes still smile from the cheeks? Now we want CC. Ha! Of course they haven't named it anything sensible. Of course it's just Interior 01. Right. Big jump. Yeah, Tiny Lucien does do very big jumps. Sorry. I wish I could be more help. 'Cause honey, I will be loving you till we're 70. Solitude Sewers. Ah, it's Root Dungeon is Solitude Sewers. Root Dungeon. Here we are. I mean, the names are consistent. They're just consistently unhelpful. Interior 01, indeed. See a Shadow Wolf. Sure, walking existential dread. So the difference is subtle. They both function similarly. So if both a function and an event, when triggered, will execute all the code contained within them. A function is you'll call a function yourself. So if I were to set up a particular function and give it a name, like function 1, then when I'm coding, whenever I call function 1, it automatically jumps to function 1 and executes all the code in the function before returning to the main body of code. An event, on the other hand, registers to wait for a particular thing to happen. So if I have event whatever, and I'm talking specifically about Skyrim scripting here, if I have event 1, and I set that up as an event which triggers when the player takes damage, so as an on-hit event, then we'd say player on hit, and then trigger a bunch of code. And then whenever I'm hit, it triggers that code. And you could call another function within that event if you wanted. You could say on hit function 1. But yeah, so they both will call whatever code's contained within them, but an event is triggered on, on being hit, on something. Something happens in the game to trigger it. And you have to register for an event first. It has to be waiting for it. Well, you don't always. It depends if it's an event. If it's a register on update as a time event. But yeah. Does that make sense? Thank you so much for the sub, the Blood Mime. That's very lovely of you. Most appreciated. Do 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 da da. So Lucien's reactions on player death are triggered by an event. And the event runs a scene. So when the scene, when the player is an on-death event, I believe, placed on the player through an alias, and when the player dies, it triggers the contents of the event, which acts like a function. Thanks for the bits, Vickle. Right. Blood for the Blood Mime! Dee 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 dee. Do da da da. Da 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 da. It could be that I have an event calling a function. So it could be a function that triggers the scene that's called by an event. I would have to check my own implementation. Do you think the crossbow collection from the Creation Club is worth it? It depends what you mean by worth it, really. That's the thing. If you can get it on sale, then probably. I mean, look, we can have a look now if you like. Give me a sec. Right, here we go. Screen with camera. Back to transition. So we're looking at the implementation for player death, which I believe I have put on this quest here, JR Lucien player death. And if I have a look on the aliases, player alias, this is an alias that the player is saved into. Shout out from Yotam Randall to everyone in the stream. Stay safe and don't get eaten by dragons. Very wise. Yeah, Lucien has at the moment about 18 player names that he can say, and that's being expanded to about 140, 150 in the new update. Only on PC at the moment, but in the new update it'll be coming to Xbox One as well. So here's the script, JR Lucien player death script. Here we are. Event on dying, so that's the death event, and it's passing the variable AK killer, which we don't actually use. But so when the player dies, the player, whoever's saved into this alias, which is the player, when they die, it just starts this scene, JR Lucien follower player death. And then it sets the stage of this quest to 5, which just prevents the line from repeating. So there you go. That's that. And if you've chosen a particular custom name, then Lucien will shout your name when you die. Like, Meme Master! No! I'm not sure if Richard is in there or not. I don't think it is. Sorry. I don't think that one's on the list. Didn't Didn't I also add Nara at your request at one point, Nuna, or was that someone else? Have I ever dealt with JavaScript? A little bit, yeah. Not massively, but I have a bit. No, I don't think anyone's requested Alex. But you're welcome to, Mr. Video Freak, if you want. I couldn't possibly advise on that, Yosen Randor. You'd have to look and decide yourself. If you would like to request a custom name, please DM it to me on Patreon. That's the way to do it. Send me a message on Patreon, because otherwise I will forget. Because there are so many of them, I've got to keep track of them all in one place. So my Patreon inbox is where I do that. So drop me a message on Patreon if you want to request a name. Why does art have to be so hard? You tell me, you're the artist. Goodness me. This is remarkable. So this is when he's discovering the roots now. Some kind of supersized root network. But you don't just get roots on their own. Is there a city-sized tree somewhere we've all missed? Now this is now going to say get stage greater than 30. Greater than 20. No, we're going to put it to greater than or equal to 20 and less than 30. When Kaiden gets there more dialogue, will I expand their interaction? It's not a priority at the moment. Expanding existing follower interaction is not what I'm currently focused on, but it might be something I might look into in the future. Ba-da-da, ba-da-ba, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dee-doo-doo. I'm thinking out loud. Right. Mr. Video Freak wants being timed out. Fair enough. There you go. Enjoy. Congratulations, Dragonborn33333. I'm always in the singing mood, Meme Master. It's quite a regular feature on these streams. How easy/difficult is it to set custom conditions for idle dialogue to trigger? For example, if it is raining on Tuesday, your follower will say X. Very, very easy. So, if I just create a new line here. Here's your condition stack. Right? And these are all the conditions that has to be true for this line to be said. These are all saved under idle, so all of these will cycle around every 23 seconds. And what we've got here then is we've got these different options of your conditions. And if you wanted to say it raining on Tuesday, as you say, then you'd have one condition for get weather. And I'm just adding these at the bottom of my stack right now. Okay, get weather isn't a condition. You'd have to check. Is it get current weather? Get current weather %? That's not quite what I want. But there will be one for get weather. Is weather? Oh no, there's is raining is a condition actually that you can use. No, don't do that, Jotun Randor. I really don't want to get into a discussion about people not liking Vilia's voice, please. Because I know that's a controversial topic that people get very heated about. And I, for one, don't want any kind of mod criticism on my stream. I think Vilia's fantastic. But I really don't. I can see exactly where that discussion's going to go, and I don't want it here. So if that's okay. So you'd go, is raining equals 1? Would be your condition for raining. How am I always so happy? Modding's fun? Streaming's fun? I try and keep a positive outlook. And then you'd want get current. No. Get day of week. Here we are. Get day of week equals 2. And that would do it. So you wouldn't need any of these above conditions here, so you could just delete all these. But down here you'd have is raining equals 1 and get day of week equals 2. And you'd be done. Oh, thanks for the follow, Cat. Didn't realise you weren't. So yeah, is raining is 1, get day of week 2, and that would do the trick. Hydrate, certainly will. Thank you for the bits, Vickle. Feel free to ask anything else if you've got any more questions. Right, so there you go. Get stage done. Get stage. Is interior get in cell. So this is going to be for a new line now. Thank you for the bits, Yummy. Most appreciated. I just wish Lucien could talk to Rumorin as they're now my permanent companions. Yeah, I'd love to do interesting NPC interactions at some point in the future, but it's a massive mod. It would be a massive undertaking to do. It is on my list of things I'd like to look into making happen, because interesting NPCs was one of the first mods I've used, and it's a big favourite of mine. Zora Fairchild was one of my early followers, and that was amazing. So yeah, I'd love to do interactions. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. So maybe later on this year or something we might look into that. I know a lot of people don't realise how easy it is sometimes. Sometimes it is an absolute pain, but very often it is more straightforward than you think it's going to be, which is why I encourage any of you who are interested in making follower mods of your own to just have a try. You know? Just have a go. Might surprise yourself. Is there any way that you can help with the interesting NPC? I don't think so. No? I'll let you know. See you, awesome dude. Have a nice nap. Hope your doggo's doing well. Okay, right. Some kind of supersized root network. We don't just get roots on your own. So now this next comment, I guess, would be for Thoron. So when you're near Thoron, well, at that stage you're at combat with him. So there's no point having an idle comment. So this next line would be after that. So the next thing now is to do combat comments with Thoron, which I guess would take the form of a taunt. But to be doubly sure that the line does in fact play, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it as a shared info and show you guys how we set that up. Can you tell how Lucien will react to a vampire player? At the moment, there's no interactions, there's no commentary on vampirism, and there won't be in the new version 1.6.0 update either. But in the future, it will be an issue for him, yeah, because you're feeding on the blood of the living to survive, and you've sold your soul to a Daedric prince. Like, it's a bit of an issue for him. So, certainly, the Dawnguard questline, if you go down that route, that's going to be a big deal, and he's not going to just sort of willingly follow you for that. So, yeah, same for the Civil War. You know, and that's not me trying to be difficult, that's just me being true to his character. Is there any reason he's more accepting of werewolves? Well, this is the thing, Bard. He's more accepting of werewolves out of necessity because you get railroaded into that to do the Companions questline. You don't get any choice. So I kind of had to. Kind of had to do that. But lore-wise, which is probably what you're asking, Is there any reason that he's more accepting of werewolves? Oh, the blood mime. It's probably better at this if you just don't post spoilers here rather than doing a spoiler alert, because it's Twitch doesn't lend itself to not looking. When if you post spoiler alert, they're still going to see the rest of your message. So just probably better just avoid spoilers on the stream, because there's no spoiler tagging function here. Because I certainly wouldn't want to spoil stuff for other people watching. But I'm glad you found it hilarious. I had a lot of fun writing that scene. Will I do Lucien interaction for every Creation Club quest? Yes, in the long run. It'll take a while, but I would like to absolutely do that. Because I would love to be at a point where we had all the existing ones done, and then as new ones were released, like pretty much immediately after they released, I immediately did a patch for it. So people could experience new Creation Club DLC for the first time with Lucien. That's where I'd really like to get to. Potentially there is that bard, yeah. Right, so this is going to be for Thoron, although we didn't actually do a comment for Svarig when we were fighting them. But we don't need one, I suppose. Yeah, they are planning on shipping more CC content. But again, I'd like to avoid getting into a debate about the merits of Creation Club content here in this stream, if that's okay. But there is more coming. Does Lucien get angry if you join up with the Stormcloaks? Not at the moment, because I haven't done Civil War commentary right now. But in the future, yes, that will be an issue. Another point of discussion for you. And there's no way he would follow you on the Stormcloak questline, because he is an Imperial and his mother is an Imperial. His mother is a captain in the Imperial Legion. His dad is also an Imperial, but his mother actually fights in the Imperial Legion. So there's really no way he'd ever ally with the Stormcloaks against the Imperials. Thoron. Oh, I was going to do this as a shared info, and now I'm doing it as a taunt. Oh, well, it'll be fine as a taunt. You need to stop this. Do not fight Lucien's mum, you'll lose. That is very true, Bard. I like that Lucien doesn't want to go anywhere that he has limits. Yes, well, I think that makes him a realistic character. You mentioned the Daedric Princes. Do I cover them in Meridia Quest, the Break of Dawn at all? I haven't done yet. I'd like to in a future update. I'd like to do all the quests in Skyrim in a future update. If you want a list of the quests that Lucien currently interacts with, have a look on my website. If you just Google Joseph Russell, you'll find it. If you have a look on there and look under the Lucien section, you'll see there's a list of all the quests that Lucien comments on. So you can check yourself there. You need to stop this, or I'm afraid we'll have no choice but to stop you. There, that sounds nice and dramatic. Are you going to make Lucien a marriage candidate? No, it's not planned. Sorry. It's not the story I'm trying to write here. Never say never. Maybe one day, in like 10 years' time, when I'm done with every other aspect of the mod, maybe. I don't want to rule it out, but it's not planned. Ha! I can back that, Bard. Petra, you are trolling me. Doomsbethar marriage, on the other hand, now that we can talk about. I'm kidding, we can't talk about that. Not because it's happening, it's not happening. Do you see yourself creating an Elder Scrolls 6 follower one day? I would love to bring Lucien to Elder Scrolls 6 when it comes out. It depends how we do that, depends entirely on the setting. on what time jump they have, you know, on whether on how they go about doing it, and indeed it depends on whether they have whether they allow modding, which I'm assuming they will do because it's Bethesda, but also on whether they give the player character a voice. If they give the player character a voice, that's going to make it impossible for me to make a follower mod like Lucien, because it just makes it far too difficult. But assuming that they don't give the player character a voice, and assuming modding is fine, then I would love to bring Lucien to Elder Scrolls 6. But we'll have to see what happens. But I am 99.999% confident that mods on Elder Scrolls 6 will be a thing, because they would be absolutely mad not to allow that, because it's the main selling point of their games. Will I work on Lucien for Skyrim even when the new Elder Scrolls comes out? No. What we'll do is we'll finish off Lucien's story in Skyrim and we'll transition over to the Elder Scrolls 6. I won't have time to work on 2 different versions of him at the same time. But yeah, Meme Master, there are plenty of options like that. I don't want to spoil things, but there's lots that we can discuss about. Lots of different ways we could do it. So the setting won't be an issue. There will be a way to do it. Doomsmithar threw Lucien out in your dream, Mazakin, though. That wouldn't be technically possible. So now we're doing get stage done. And oh, what did we get to? Did we get to 150? Let's double back and have a look. The supersized route network was 150, so we're now looking at 160 for this line. Maybe just the touch of a hand. I just want to tell you I am. And now we're going to do a get stage, and the stage is going to be 30. And we're looking for quest B again. Equals 30. There we are. And the get is ID. Is it now? Has to be Old Thoron now. What is his ID? Let's find out. Enk Warlock Atro 06 Boss Breton M. What a catchy name. But what the bit before that? It just goes to Enk. So we're scrolling up through this list. There we go. Breton M equals 1. Job's a good one. Set stage 160. Bum, bum, ba-da-dee. Do 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 do. Ba-da-da-doo. Ooh, oh, that was nearly a crash there. Good evening, Yellow Ego Cat. I'm doing very well, thank you. Do I know Counting Stars? Oh, how does that go? Is that Ed Sheeran again? No, it's a song by One Republic, apparently. Lately I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. That's the one. I think that's the one. Is that the same Counting Stars you're thinking of? Ooh, chicken and garlic in the oven. Very exciting, Nuna. No more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars. Something like that. I don't really know it very well. I know it a little bit. Okay. So now, retrieve the Sword of Gigalag. Right. That's old Thoron dealt with. Spooky magic sword. Should probably grab that carefully. Oh, Black Betty, jig-a-lag. Oh, Black Betty, Betty, jig-a-lag. Right, so we did stage 150 for the root network, which is that one there, which means we're on to stage 160. No, hang on. Stage 170 now for this. So we're going to do that. Oh, you're here for the prattle. Well, that's a relief. I'm glad. I hope, well, that, yeah, it's a significant chunk of the content. So, yeah. Can Lucien cook? No. No, I don't think he can. Someone, I can't remember who, did like a meme or something about him burning the house down with spaghetti at some point. I feel that's accurate for him. I think academically he understands how to cook. I think he understands the concept of it, and I think he could explain it to someone else. But I just feel if he were to start doing it himself, there would be disasters. There would be fire and screaming and problem. Yes, he's the type to burn water. Exactly. Exactly. So the stage we're at here with this now, we got to get stage greater than 20 or less than 30. Over on UESP, we are at stage is equal to 40. That's what we want now. We want it exactly equal to 40. So I'm going to set that now. Is him setting fire to his shoes trying to cook canon? Yes, that is canon. Yes, that was a thing. I remember we discussed that before. Or did he? I feel like there's a line somewhere of him talking about that. We might have done that when we did the cooking lines before. Yes. Yes, that's canon. He knows how to cook, but not how to cook exactly. Will Lucien address the Elder Scroll mystery in the future? You'll have to wait and see. I'm not spoiling things, but yeah, that was an intentional, you know, I knew what I was doing when I wrote that bit. And, you know, it's not just there to tease you forever. So yeah, we might explore that at some point. I'm not saying when, I'm not saying how. You'll have to find out. But I like hearing the theories that you guys come up with about it. It's always fun hearing the fan theories. I liked the fan theories for when we did the Lucien the Dragonborn Season 1 thing. So feel free to keep shooting your theories at me. And I'll try and remember if anyone ever turned out to be right. In the universe of the Elder Scrolls, seemingly anyone can learn magic. Yes. So would it not be easier for everyone to learn some type of fire spell and never have to worry about making a campfire again? Just gather the wood and blast it with flames. Probably. But that sounds far too logical. The question is always how much of a lot of the stuff is gameplay mechanics and how much of it's actual lore. Like, I feel like a lot of people can't learn magic in the Elder Scrolls. You know, your innkeepers and your standard villagers and all of that, they don't use magic. So it can't be quite as easy for your normal person as it is for the player character. Oh, you're drawing another Lucien. Love your drawings, Mazakan. Thanks for the follow, Nobody Blitz. Good to see you. Always fun having new people. Right, so if the stage is 40, I think that's fine because the stage will go to 200 once you've received the Sword of Jig-a-Lag. So the next line would be about the sword then. Now what does the Sword of Jig-a-Lag look like? Jig-a-Lag! I'm pretty sure it's a fairly ordinary looking sword, isn't it? Because of the whole order thing. Yeah, it's just a slightly order. It's an order. Well, it's like a bit of metal, isn't it? Some bandit dialogue implies that while anyone can learn magic, not everyone has the capacity to study it. That's interesting. Ah, yeah, that's true, Meme Master. You're right. Ha! Thanks, Mazakan. Jotun Randall says, Lucien is a Daedra that was sent to Tamriel to study the people and to start the second Oblivion Crisis. He killed the real Lucien and stole his face. Wow, that's a deep theory. Very conspiracy. Okay. So this will be now when you actually have the sword. And then we're done with the main quest from the DLC, which is great, a great milestone to have hit for the end of the stream. That sword. Do you know, I think it might be. The sword of Jiggalag. Now, Jiggalag, how do we spell Jiggalag? J-Y-G-G. I can never do it. J-Y-G-G-A-L-A-G. That's it. It is a very interesting theory. There we go, Jiggalag. I think it might be the sword of Jiggalag. Be very careful indeed with it. I'm not actually sure what it does. Lucien's mum defected to the Stormcloaks. No, that theory's just not true. I can deny that one straight off the bat, Butane Boss. So we're at stage 200 now. Which is there. And I'm going to tell that greater than equal to 200 just in case there's any kind of funky behavior that goes on that we're not aware of. So there we go. We want, sorry, greater than or equal to. That's literally what I just said and I didn't do it because I'm a fool. And for that, we're now on 180. 180. And we're setting the stage 180, but I've got to be very careful with this one. And the reason is... Oh, do I? Do you know, it's probably fine to have this, because even if you pick up Lucien and you have the Sword of Jiggalag in your inventory, he could still say this line. It would still work. So I probably don't actually need to be quite as careful about conditioning it as I normally am. It won't let you do another shout-out. That's weird. Maybe I put a limit on it. I don't remember doing that, but... No, it's not annoying at all, Jotun Randor. Quite possibly, Mazikin. Quite possibly. Okay, so that's fine if that's great in there. That's 180. Oh, I've just realised these previous lines I've set to not play in interiors. We need to delete that because all of this is in an interior. It specifically can only happen in an interior. There we go. That's better. And that one, we won't worry about that either. Set to be greater than or equal to 200. And get in cell, root dungeon. There we go. Get in faction, current follower faction is sneaking equal to 0. Yep, happy with all of those. Great stuff. So, I think what we can do here is we can now have a lore discussion. Nope, spelling it wrong again. Jiggalag. Which can be... because I like having these little lore dumps. What can you tell me about... Jiggalag? Ugh. Spelling. I want to check that again. 2 G's. That's all there is to it. Just 2 G's and that's fine. We'll save again there. Yeehaw! There be Daedra. Quite so. bum bum ba-dum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-da do 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 do. Right, what can you tell me about Jiggalag? What indeed can we tell you about Jiggalag? That's the question. I'm going to have to look up all the lore. Because I don't actually know, having not played Oblivion. Daedric Prince of Order. Now, he is also Sheogorath, isn't he? They're supposed to be the same thing. Yes. No, they're no longer the same Daedric Prince, but they are still connected. What is that about? What's the reference for that? Jiggalag has separated from Sheogorath, but I'd say it's incorrect that there's no longer an association. So they're separate but linked. Yeah, Oblivion spoilers, but also, you know, I'm about to spoil it as part of the mod. It's just lore at this stage, isn't it? So it's fine, I think. You know, lore is lore. There are many spoilers for previous games in the lore for Skyrim. How many lines does Lucien have, approximately? Okay, in the last update, version 1.5.0, he had 3,000 lines of dialogue. In the new version, as of version 1.6.0, he's going to have about 4,300 lines of dialogue. I'd say at the moment we're at 4,200, and I reckon I've got at least another 100 left to record. So yeah, 4,300 altogether. That's nice to hear, Jotun Randall. Glad you're enjoying it. It is. It's many lines. It's an awful lot of time spent. I'm saying spent there rather than wasted. Spent. That's cool, Anxious Stitcher. We've got the whole lore page here, so I'm quite happy to go with that. But if I start writing anything that's wrong, feel free to jump in and contradict me. I'm a madman. Yeah, arguably. Arguably. Right, Daedric Prince of Order. What can you tell me about Jiggalag? Thanks so much for the sub, Cthulin. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. You're exactly right, Dotty Prime. There is a gap there. It has been reported before. I do need to sort that out at some stage. But thanks for letting me know. Don't punch Lucien in the face. That's not very nice, sweet star. That's not how you're supposed to look after him. Incidentally, random opportunity for a plug. Those of you who don't tune in all the time, Shirley Curry on YouTube, Granny Shirl, Skyrim Gaming Grandma, is still doing a read-through of my book, Lonely Worlds. She's doing a new episode of it tomorrow at lunchtime. Lunchtime UK time, early morning US. I think they're on like chapter 9 or something by now. Do check it out. You know, and if you like it, please do consider buying the book. But yeah, she's reading it beautifully. And I'm sure she'd appreciate if you guys checked it out, and I would love it. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the story. So yeah, it's for free because it's on YouTube. Oh, thank you so much, Yami. 1,000 bits, very generous. Thank you. How do I feel about her reading my book on YouTube basically for free? I think it is great exposure. So, yes, a lot of people who would hear her read it out will then not go on to buy the book because they've obviously heard the story. But, you know, those people wouldn't have ever heard of the book anyway. So, I don't think I lose anything from that. It's just more people who've heard the story. And that's ultimately what I want at this stage. It's why I've set the price for the book so low, is because my focus isn't in making profit from the book. My focus in the book is getting my writing out there, you know, trying to establish myself a little bit. So I think it's a fantastic thing, and I think she's doing an amazing job. The book is available on Amazon. There's a link just below the stream. If you have a look underneath the stream, you should see a big picture of the front cover of a book. And that is my book. And it's on Amazon. And I think there are other distributors who picked it up, distributed from Amazon. So you might find it other places. But if you just Google Lonely World, Joseph Russell, you'll find it. And yeah, hope you like it. Otherwise, I can drop a link in the chat for you. I'll do that now because why not? Never miss an opportunity for a plug, right? So I had a dream last night. I tweeted about this. I had a dream last night that Big Finish commissioned it to be turned into an audio drama. And it was amazing. And then I woke up and it hadn't happened. But it was really great. I don't know who they were casting for it. But you only need like 4 cast members anyway, so it's not that hard. But yeah, that was a good dream. Alas, it's not to be. But I'd still like to record it as an audiobook at some point. Hey, Mr. Ite, welcome to the stream. Greetings, newbie. Newbies are all very welcome. What have brought you to my my little stream of nonsense? Hey, Rex the Butterfly King, welcome. Welcome back. Great to see you. Well, not see you, but That's alright, Cthulhu. We're stopping after, in the next 10 minutes anyway. So, you're not going to miss out on much. Oh, I'm glad you're finding the tutorial videos useful, Mr. Ite. Am I pronouncing that right? Would you prefer IT? Itty? We'll just go with Mr. Ite. Right, what can we tell about Jiggerath? Jiggerath? Jiggalag. Mr. Ite, it's a pun? What's it a pun on? Mr. Ite. Is it rude? Probably shouldn't be saying it out loud if it is, but... Nope, can't figure out. What's it a pun on? That's going straight over my head. You love my cactus content. I'm thrilled. My cactus content? Cactus light. Don't know why. I read that wrong. But yes, it was a present from my brother. So, I think it's quite whimsical. He's the Daedric Prince of Order. Also Sheogorath in disguise. Sometimes. It's complicated. But when he's not Sheogorath, he's a big grey, and grey with an A because we're in American. He's a big grey spiky chap. You need to name the cactus light. Oh, Mr. Right, that makes sense. No problem at all, Dotty Prime. As I say, always feel free to tune into these streams on Thursdays if you've got more follow-up questions off the tutorial series, because that's exactly what these streams are all about, Very happy to answer any more questions, and I will be getting back to the tutorial series after I finish doing the Lucien version 1.6.0 update. Americans do spell grey with an A, don't they? I'm pretty sure you do. Right? Someone tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the greybeards is spelled with an E. It's A in America and E everywhere else. Yeah. I'm assuming Bethesda, which always goes with the American versions of spellings, would go with A here. I need to be consistent with that. So I'm assuming we're going to go with that. But if anyone wants to check in Skyrim or something, do let me know. Okay. Well, you're going for A. A lot of people going for it with an E. Ugh. It's not easy. It's not straightforward. Okay, grey. I'm going to Google it. Let's have a look. US spelling, grey or grey. Grey and grey are two different spellings of the same word. Grey is more common in the US. Okay, what if I go to UESP and I start typing in grey? Yeah, it comes up. The grey cowl. The grey host. Grey viper, whereas grey beards is all one word. Grey mate. What if I do grey like that? Ah, there's one there. Not Greg. Of course I don't mean Greg. Greybeards is with an E, but that I think is a special example. I'm going with A because that's American. You say that. No, I have to get it right. That's the thing, Sweet Star. I have to be consistent. It's got to be professional. It's got to look right. The Greg beards. Greg the Greg beard. They don't shout, they just throw sausage rolls at people. Okay. Right. Right, so he's a big grey spiky chap. That's him. Okay. Jiggleleg's realm of perfect order. Okay. As you might expect, he's not a big fan of chaos. So, when he's not being Sheogorath, which some scholars argue is all the time these days, he's fighting him. Which makes sense. Zoo lost over Greg. Oh, let's have a look at your art, Mazakan. Let's fire at the Discord. What am I working on? I am working on a Saints and Seducers patch for Lucien. Oh, there once was a hero named Gregnar the Greg, who came riding to White Greg from old Rorik's Greg. And the Gregnar did Hegnar and Regnar the Greg, as the Gregnar did Hegnar and Gregnar the Greg. Oh, look at that! A Lucien skin! Ace, did you make a Lucien skin? Can I actually equip that in-game? That's really cool. That's very exciting if that's a thing I can actually use. Oh, and I love that. What's he got on his head? Is it a little bird? Great work, Mazakan. Love it. Thanks for sharing. Has Lucien been updated? Hang on, where are we? No, he's not. We're working on... please look at your art. What, is there another art? Which one's yours? Oh! You got a short-haired Lucien. He looks very tired. Poor chap. But it's great again. I wish I could do arty things. Alas, I lack this power. But you never know. I might learn one day. It's highly unlikely, but I might try. Love the art. Please keep it coming. So yeah, no, Lucien hasn't been updated. I've been working on version 1.6.0 for months, but it hasn't been released yet. But I'm hoping to release it soon. Trademarked. Soon. I have no idea if the phonics data.cdx in Goat Simulator will do. However, it will be in your Skyrim LE folder. It will be there. So have a scrummage for it. Oh yeah, no, I know you can argue writing and whatever is art. It's just like, what I mean is physical drawing art. I would love to be able to draw and paint or whatever. I would really enjoy that. Will it need a new game? No. Lucien updates never require a new game. I always specifically design them to make sure that they are compatible with existing saves, because I don't ever want you guys to have to start a new game. So we always test, we design them for that and we test them for that. Absolutely. Right. Okay. They had a rather large spat not long after the Oblivion crisis. The champion of Cyrodiil got involved, and it all turned rather ugly. All turned a bit, I don't want to reuse ugly, rather, a bit ugly. Anyway, he was defeated, wasn't he? Or he left. Headed off. Yes. Thanks for the bits, Rex the Butterfly King. Yep, grabbing it from Fallout 3 works fine, Batty Fluff. Okay. It all... it ended more or less... It turned out more or less all right in the end. Oh, but I like saying Rex the Butterfly King. Can't forget your title. Turned out more or less all right in the end, though. Okay, I'm probably happy to leave that there for the moment. We might come along and expand that specifically to talk about the sword next time. But I think at that point is probably a nice point to end the stream and park the modding. So, thank you all so much for watching, as ever. It's been a lot of fun. I'll be back on Saturday to continue our Skyrim playthrough. We're doing a playthrough as a sneaky thief called Daveth, or Dave for short. So we're doing that on Saturday. We'll be cracking on with doing some multiplayer stuff on Monday. Yes, Cthulhu, we do still stream ESO. We do that sometimes on Mondays. But I think this Monday we're probably going to give Minecraft a go. That's what I fancy. So we'll see what happens. But I reckon we're going to do that at least for a bit. So yeah, very excited with that Minecraft skin that Ace is working on. But yeah, so Saturday, Skyrim Saturday, multiplayer Monday. And we'll be back next Thursday for more modding workshops. We do that every Thursday. This is going to be our routine, just sort of ad infinitum. By the way, the Saturday streams are now at 5 PM UK time rather than 7. I had to shift them back because we've got this, you know, I'm staying at home for a while longer than planned, and I've got to sort of fit in with all the other schedules. Thank you so much for the donation, Vickle. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Means a lot. Okay, right. I'm going to head off. Stay marvellous. Be good to one another. Wash your hands. Always wash your hands. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon. Bye.